Legends, viewers, is not just a show, it is a tribute. It is a salute to those rare individuals who do not just live history, they make history, they give birth to history, they create history. And those stories that are etched in our minds and the achievements are stretching our imaginations, and also the spirit that reflects the very best of what we all can do, which is very much possible. They make it look so easy, but it's very much the story that we all need to know. And tonight we are joined by a man who has lived through that journey, who turned every setback into a serve, every challenge into a charge, and every match into a moment that inspired a nation of billions. The world knows his name, India knows his story, but tonight we are going to go beyond the headlines. We are going into the will, the discipline, and the fire that forged this legend. He is India's first tennis Olympian, an 18-time Grand Slam champion, Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri, and Arjuna Awardee, and more than any accolade. He's a symbol of endurance. He's a symbol of discipline, excellence, and of course, more importantly, of belief. In his own words, champions are made of intelligence and grit to live out big dreams and live them. He did live them out for all of us. He's not just a champion, he's a movement, and tonight we are going to tell his story. Big round of applause, and of course it's going to be the first edition of Legends, and I'm sure it's going to be a very special conversation which we are going to begin now. And all the best, Lee, for this rally. I hope it's going to be the most engaging rally off the court. So I invite on stage the Editor-in-Chief, Republic Media Network, Mr. Arnab Goswami, and the legend himself, Mr. Leander Paes. Big round of applause, please, for the gentleman.
Leander, and what you've done in your life is totally incredible. Many people have careers, many people achieve a lot of things in life, but I think the real legends are people who have a story. And I think your life is a story. And there are many chapters still to be written. But there are many young people out here, young kids I can see who play tennis. And for you, you're a role model beyond comparison. So first I want to start by thanking you for being what you are, being a legend, and being with us here at the Republic Media Network headquarters. Thank you, Leander. Let's have another round of applause. So Leander is 3 months younger to me. And many years back, when we were both 20 years old, we were on a flight together. And it so happened, it was the first time, there were 4 students. We were on an Air India plane from Delhi to London, and there were 4 of us in the economy section. And the air hostesses were running up and down excited. So they said that, you know, Leander Paes is traveling to London. You were going for Wimbledon. I think you were already junior Wimbledon champ. And he was a celebrity. Now this is 32 years back. That's how long this man has been famous. So we said, abhi kya kare? So somebody said, he's the same age as us. I said, yes. Isko ek chithi likhte hain. Let's write a letter to him. So we wrote a very emotional letter. We said, dear Leander, we are 4 poor, hungry Indian students. We are the same age as you. You are traveling in business class. We are traveling for the first time. Why don't you call us upstairs? And after 10 minutes, the air hostesses came back, they said, come up. 4 of us went up. So my first international trip, I flew first class thanks to Leander Paes. And I landed in London. The first thing you are told is, London pahunch ke mummy ko phone karna. So 4 of us went to make a phone call. And we were trying to put a £1 coin into a machine. And we were not being able to put in. So after some time, Leander, while going out, says, okay, so he says, you're having any trouble? You may not remember this. We said, we're not being able to put the coin in the machine. So he said, you fools, there is no coin. You have to go and buy a card. Then we came back after having bought a card. Then we were trying to put the card into the phone machine. and there was no place to put the card. So Leander says, what's the problem? I said, where do you put the card, Leander? He said, you fools, you don't have to put the card anywhere. You have to scratch the card and get a number. So my first international phone call was also thanks to Leander Paes. That's how far we go. And that friendship through over 30 years has been amazing. In 1996, when you won the Olympic medal, and where we are now, Leander, 29 years. So to start with, your story is the story of our country. And that's why we wanted you to be here today as our first legend. So we'll keep it casual, okay? You're remembering me as the 20-year-old on the flight.
No, I'm just actually in so much of gratitude to be here. Because for most of you all, especially the youngsters, that's right, you with your hand up too, you'd look at me as your champion. And it's my greatest honor to be your champion. But this man is my champion. Because from that very first flight to the very first phone call to all the years we spent in Mumbai at our children's school annual day, sports day, through all the years that I've watched Arnab move the country, be there for the people, genuinely a son of the soil. For me, a man who lives real in the business of telling stories that can be meandered through different narrations, you have kept it real. And for all the ups and downs that I've seen you go through, and we've stood by each other's side through all of life, that what life has thrown us, it's my greatest honor to be your first Son of the Soil legend on this show. But I'm so proud of what Arnab and his wonderful wife and family have done with Republic.
Thank you, Lee. Tell me, Lee, let's tell your story, okay? How does the story of Leander Paes start? We'll take this visually, because I think visuals tell the story the best. Our memories, Leander, are in the moments. You agree with me on that?
100%.
100%. So if I was to put a story of Leander Paes for people to know, if there was to be a fantastic movie made on you, which I'm sure is being made, documentaries have been made, and the world should know your story, what will be the first scene that you would place? Tell me about the scene, the moment where the story of the legend Leander Paes would start. Describe it to me.
It would start at the 1972 Munich Olympics. My father was there as the center half of the Indian hockey team. My mother was already the captain of the Indian basketball team. But Baba was playing in Munich, and Palestinian terrorists had taken 12 Israeli athletes hostage. The games were shut down for 4 days. The German army was inside the village. And the irony of the situation at that time was 10,000 athletes at the Olympic Village were housed alphabetically by nationality. So the Indian building was bang opposite Israel. The German army had boarded the windows of the Indian building, boarded the doors, all the televisions were removed, the newspapers were removed. But in that, during the 4 days of the hardship that they went through in the Olympics, I was conceived in those 4 days. I was born on the 17th of June, 1973, for a few of you that are good at math. And I was born to a patriotic family where Ma's jersey number was number 5, Baba's jersey number was number 10. And the reason I know that was because I used to iron it for them. But to be born into this sort of patriotic legacy was a lot of pressure. Do you play basketball? Do you play hockey? Do you play sport? Do you go academic? I was never a great academic. I would get through school, but being born to a Bengali Hindu mother and a Christian Portuguese Goanese father, the genetics that I was born with was very unique. And then to be born in our city of joy, Calcutta, gave me the sense of Indianness, where culture, community come together. And that inclusivity of the community of Calcutta back in the 70s and 80s was so special, because my parents taught me that sport brought people together. Through the vehicle of sport, you could inspire people to be the best they could be. So my childhood, I used to play gully cricket, gully football in Park Street. We used to play with all the street kids barefoot. We would learn from them how tough they were. Because in football, God forbid, they gave us a tackle which hit us on the shins, we'd be the ones crying, not them. Because those street kids were tough. And that's what my parents imbibed in me, is that a sense of hunger and passion and patriotism towards the Tiranga and our people.
So, his father, 1972 Munich Games, India won the bronze. And the incredible Dr. Leander Paes, his father, was midfielder for the hockey team, 1972 Olympics. His mother, Jennifer Paes, led India's 1980 basketball champions team in 1980, right? Yeah. So that is the kind of genes that he's been born with. But Leander, tell me one thing. Did it put pressure on you? Like, when you have such genes, some people would say, if I get into any sport, I'm going to be expected to be better than them. There will always be the comparison. What have you achieved? Your mother's been captain of a winning Asian basketball team. Your father's been an Olympic medal winner. How did you choose tennis? I would have expected from Kolkata, you would have chosen football, right? Especially at that time. How did tennis happen?
So football's been my first love. Always has been.
Even now?
Always will be.
Football is your first love?
Is my first love.
Not tennis?
Not tennis.
That's crazy, you say that.
I'm not so talented at tennis.
You're not talented in tennis?
I don't have a good technical backhand, because I play a single-handed old school backhand. Today, you look at Sabalenka on a backhand, hits the ball harder than I do. You look at Rafa Nadal's backhand, Djokovic's backhand, they're world class. Also, because of my Indian genetics, the average height of a tennis player in the 80s when I started was 6'1". The average height in the 90s was 6'2". 2000, 6'3". The average height of a tennis player today, Arnab, is 6'4". I'm 5'10" on a good day.
So why did you choose
height,
tennis? I saw you say there in that you went up and you said that I want to choose tennis because I want to win an Olympic medal, and you went to the Vijay Amritraj Academy.
So Baba was very
What made you
upset.
feel it's possible?
Baba was very upset that I'd given up football. I was at a European football academy. I was there for 7 months. They picked me for their playing 11.
How old were you then?
And
How old were you then?
11.
And you were picked
And I was
for?
playing for the under 17 junior academy in Europe. PSV Eindhoven and then Barcelona. But then when I came back from the academy, my genetics are very similar to my mother's. And my mother's a clairvoyant. She feels energy, and I've inherited that from her. So when it came to football, the practicality of it was that India was not even making it to the Asian Championships. We weren't qualifying for the Asian Games. How are we going to qualify the Olympics or win an Olympic medal? And my only dream as a young boy growing up was to emulate my father, to prove to Indians that we can be Olympic champions. My biggest passion in the world is to put the Tiranga on the global map, that we can be world class at anything we do. Today, many people have proven it. But in the late 70s, early 80s, There were no real models who had won on the global stage. No one had won Wimbledon till then. No one had won an Olympic medal till then. Individuals. No one had gone and won a world championship. So when I came back home, Baba was very upset with me. I was 11 years old. And he said, "You're a real fool for giving up football. You're so talented at it. What are you going to do now?" So I have a bit of a rebel streak in me. And when Baba asked me, I had no reply. So I was looking around the dining room. And from where I used to sit on the left side of Baba at the dining table, Ma used to sit on his right side. From my seat, I could see in the living room Uncle Basil's picture with the Fred Perry sweater with 3 tennis rackets in his hand. मैंने तो देखा तो मैं बोला टेनिस खेलेंगे.
You said it on a whim.
I said it on intuition. And
Intuition is always based on something, right?
intuition is based on a gut feeling.
What was the gut feeling?
That I could master the art of tennis to win an Olympic medal. And it was a pure gut feeling. If you ask me to articulate it, it's tough to. It's a gut feeling. It's like when you feel something that has no logic, but you know it's correct. And nowadays, in this modern world of social media and AI and technology, we're getting far away from using our God-given talents or animal instincts or our own human instincts. And I think it's very important to nurture our senses to master our ability.
Were you betting on yourself because saying that, because you're a very driven guy, right?
A little bit.
So you were saying because you wanted to play a solo game, right? You didn't want to play a team game, so that the risk, the reward, the challenge was all focused on you.
Correct.
Right? There was either you fail or win. There's no insurance policy here.
If I play badly, then the other 10 guys don't have to suffer. Also, if they don't work hard enough, then I don't suffer. So I picked up an individual sport because then the sole responsibility was on me. And I felt that sometimes winning is not about talent. Sometimes winning is not about height. बचपन पे लोग पूछते थे आपका औकात क्या है टेनिस में?
आपका
औकात क्या है? मैंने जब कहा कि मैं विंबलडन जीत के आऊँगा, मैं ओलंपिक मेडल जीत के आऊँगा, लोग पूछते थे, क्लास टीचर पूछते थे स्कूल में, औकात क्या है? पहला विंबलडन पहुँच के देखा, एक क्लास टीचर जो थे, she told me, 50 साल पहला आप वहाँ पे माली बन सकता था, विंबलडन में. तो growing up is not always easy or always about talent.
Right.
It is about औकात दिखाने का है.
औकात दिखाना है.
और क्या?
You took it as a challenge.
As a challenge.
You were angry.
100%.
Wow. So there was a fire inside you, right?
Till today that fire burns. Every time I see the Tiranga, every time I look at your eyes, this gentleman, wonderful gentleman in front here with the blue shirt, wonderful gentleman who fed us lunch just now from the cafe. When I look at Indians' eyes, na, कुछ हो जाते हैं अंदर. Can't explain क्या, मगर कुछ होते हैं. जब तिरंगा देखते हैं ना, कुछ हो जाते हैं.
Can I ask you something? Last 10 minutes we are talking. You have mentioned Tiranga 10 times. You have mentioned Olympics 15 times. Here is 18 times Grand Slam winner. He's not mentioning the Grand Slams. So the question would be, after 30 years, suppose you had won 18 Grand Slams, achieved everything that you have achieved, but not won an Olympic medal.
नहीं चाहिए.
Huh?
नहीं चाहिए मेरे को.
नहीं चाहिए means? Suppose you get everything in life. You have been world #1 doubles. I don't know for how long you've been. Years. Till the age of 49 he has played. Incredible man. He's been through huge medical challenges. And he has fought that. He spent time in hospitals. He's fought that. And now you're saying that all that you've achieved, if I put that on one side and I put that one Olympic medal on the other, you mentioned Olympic medal. You don't seem to, the other things don't matter?
I've been very blessed, Arnab, that through a 39-year career, yes, I've won 18 senior Grand Slams, 2 junior singles Grand Slams. I've got the world record back to India for Davis Cup. I've got the world record of participation in the Olympics, 7 Olympics in a row, which is 28 years of playing the Olympics. No one's talking about the 15 years of preparing for it. But my greatest honor is to wear the Tiranga on my heart and play for 1.4 billion people. So yes, if I had not won that Olympic medal, I would be unfulfilled as an athlete. I would have still bowed my head in gratitude to God and said, thank you for everything you've given me. But nothing compares to the responsibility of playing for country and playing for your people. No amount of money, no amount of trophies, no amount of any accolade. But when I walk the streets of India or I meet people from India and foreign lands and I look into their eyes, that wonderful respect that I receive, the love that I receive from Indians, that's what life's about. That is my legacy. That is the relationship that I have with each individual. And I've played through 6 generations?
Oh, yeah.
Children, their parents, grandparents, great-grandparents nowadays. All of them can say, we watched you play. And to inspire now the next generation to be champions is what I live for.
Amazing. You have made us so proud. You have, everybody's got a Leander Paes moment in their mind. But you can't imagine Davis Cup without Leander Paes. You can't imagine that. You can't, Leander Paes will not play Davis Cup. How can it be? And obviously, that first moment when you have played for your country, can you, I have 2 visual moments to ask you. So, what is the first time you represented India? Not represented Leander Paes. Not represented a Grand Slam situation. No. Not played for rankings. What is the first time you represented India? Tell us about that moment. Not when you won for India, but when you went on the court for India in any tournament. Do you remember that moment?
Very clearly.
Tell me about it. And what went through your mind at that time?
I remember it very clearly like it was yesterday.
Yep.
I was 15 years old. I was playing in the Australian Open, juniors, singles. I just won the semi-finals of the junior singles in Melbourne. And I was preparing for my final match the next day. और उस ज़माने में मोबाइल फ़ोन नहीं थे. उस ज़माने में email नहीं थे. So I got a telegram, a pink paper with typewriting on it saying, you are summoned to Davis Cup duty in Chandigarh, signed NK. Now हमारे classmate था एक निखिल भाटिया. I thought the guy was playing a prank on me. So, you remember your story about the phones? I went to a scratch phone, scratched my card. I called my father and I said, Dad, I've received this pink telegram from NK. This fellow Nikhil Bhatia is causing trouble. My father said, you fool, it's Mr. Naresh Kumar, your first Davis Cup captain. You are 15 years old. You are the youngest participant in Davis Cup. Finish your match in the finals tomorrow and catch the first Air India flight back to Chandigarh. Now, I was 15. Then I had no money to live in hotels. I used to sleep in the locker rooms, in the stadium. We used to normally travel by train.
Yes.
So when I lost in the finals of the Australian Open, I flew back to Delhi, and from Delhi airport, the old Purana airport, I had to go to the train station with my tennis racket bag, with my tennis shoes, with my gear, and I caught the Shatabdi Express. And back then we thought the Shatabdi Express
Super
was
luxury.
a luxury train. Huh? Now that luxury train, why? Because it had air condition in it.
Yeah.
And I sat on the Shatabdi Express from Delhi all the way to Chandigarh. And when we got off at Chandigarh airport, the train conductor stopped the train perfectly for my bogie door to be lined up to this red carpet.
Amazing. Oh, wow.
And in the Chandigarh train station, right in the center, was Mr. Naresh Kumar, Auntie Sunita Kumar, and the train superintendent of Chandigarh train station. And I still remember Uncle Naresh was wearing white pants, polo pants, a white collared polo shirt which had sailboats on it. He had beautiful salt and pepper hair and gold rimmed glasses with the most piercing blue-grey eyes. And I sat in the window of my train and I looked at this couple. And that is how my journey to play for India started.
Now, from being told कि Wimbledon या टेनिस खेलने की औकात क्या है, which year was that? Approximately? What you said was 1988.
What I said was the 2nd of February
Chandigarh was
1990
Yeah, no, but you were told in 1990.
to come for Davis Cup.
No, when were you made that Aukat comment was made around what time? 85?
1985,
85.
1986,
Yeah.
1987, 1988, 1989. And only after I won that Davis Cup match, 18-16 in the 5th set. As a 15-year-old boy, I played for 5 hours and 28 minutes. Many people had asked for Uncle Naresh's resignation as the Davis Cup captain. 15 उम्र का लड़का को खिला रहे, हार गए तो क्या होगा? So he said, all right. If Leander loses, I will resign from Davis Cup. At 2-5 down in the 5th set, he whispered something in my ear that I can't repeat. But he didn't have to resign.
You know, 1990. So I asked you the date deliberately because, you know, you go back the years and you see how much a person can achieve in such a short time. A boy at the age of 13, 14, 15, till 15 is told, what is your aukat to play tennis, to play for the country? And then in 1990, at the age of just 17 years, he becomes the junior Wimbledon champion of the world. And that year, 1990, 4 years after being told what is your aukat, he becomes the number 1 junior player in the world at the age of 17. Do you remember the Wimbledon moment? 17 years. Can you just tell us about that moment?
So
Let us relive that moment of Leander Paes 1990 at the age of 17 winning junior Wimbledon. Tell me about the moment.
So 2nd of February 1990, till then, लोग पूछते थे औकात क्या है. तब डेविस कप जीता. तब उसके बाद जून ऑफ 1990 विंबलडन जूनियर्स भी जीता. कम लोग पूछते थे तब. तब सितंबर 1991 यूएस ओपन जीता. और कम लोग पूछते थे. मगर 1996 पे, in the summer of 1996, when I won my Olympic medal, then everyone started saying, I told you so.
हमको पता था.
हाँ.
ये लड़का कुछ करेगा.
अरे बचपन से पता था. और मैं क्या कहते थे, हाँ अंकल, आप ही बोल रहे थे कि क्या औकात है मेरा.
You see, magic is something which I find in your career. You are magical. 1996. When he went to play the Olympics in 1996, nobody gave him a chance in hell. He was ranked 126 in the world. How can he win an Olympic medal? Right?
Hell में भी chance नहीं दे रहे थे.
Hell में भी chance नहीं. So, very few people know one thing. Everybody knows the medal. But very few people know about the fact that between the semi-final and the medal clash, your wrist was placed in a hard cast. So his wrist was placed in a hard cast. He had ruptured tendons. Where was it? Where was the rupturing? You play so hard that all his tendons were ruptured. And it was a hard cast. Hard cast means it's serious stuff, right? And I don't know, how did it not matter? Nobody can win an Olympic medal after rupturing tendons in tennis. Between the semi-final and the medal match was a hard cast. So, how did you get there? What motivated you? How did you get over your injury to play that game?
There are two great stories from Atlanta 1996. The first story was 4 years earlier. Ramesh Krishnan and myself had lost in the double quarterfinals in the Barcelona Olympics, in my first Olympics. After we lost, I sat on the bench on the tennis court for 2 hours. Ramesh, being a wonderful Tambram gentleman, sat with me for 1 hour. And after 1 hour, he said to me, Anna, what are you sitting here for? What are we doing sitting here in the rain? I said, see, you are retiring. There is no other junior coming up. How am I going to win this medal? I have seen I'm winning it. How am I going to win? He said, why didn't you ask me 55 minutes ago? I said, but what's the answer? He said, singles. You don't need a doubles partner. Do it in singles. I spent 4 years studying Atlanta, Georgia, Stone Mountain. It was altitude. In that 4 years, I went to every single altitude tournament in Kobe, Japan, Osaka, Japan, Ecuador, Quito, Brasilia, Brazil, Belo Horizonte, Brazil, Colombia. I went the entire world searching for the same altitude conditions as we were going to face in Atlanta. And after 4 years of training, we get to Atlanta, Georgia. Muhammad Ali lights the Olympic torch, one of my heroes. क्योंकि बचपन पे मैं भी कहते थे, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. My name is Mr. Lee. And when we got to Atlanta, after the opening ceremony, I'm not taking names of anybody, but the draw ceremony was on the Saturday morning. So we went to the draw to see who I was going to play in singles. And after a whole lifetime's effort of preparing for the Olympics, 4 years of playing in all these countries in the world, Leander Paes, India versus Pete Sampras, USA. कैप्टन बोला, कोई गल नहीं बेटा, 4 साल बाद फिर से ओलंपिक्स आएगा. वही पुरानी बात, औकात. But I felt inside me, this was my moment to shine. So the first story is, I couldn't understand how I was going to beat Pete Sampras.
What was his ranking then?
Number 2 in the world. And as Arnab said, I was 128 in the world. I got a wild card into that Olympics. But I couldn't visualize how I was going to lose to Sampras also. I couldn't feel it. But the morning of the match, when I got to the stadium, I had zero strategy. ना देख पा रहे थे कि किस तरह से जीतेंगे, किस तरह से हारेंगे भी. So I got to the stadium only to find out that Pete Sampras USA pulled out of the Olympics because his clothing sponsor was not the same sponsor as the US Olympic contingent. Whew. My favorite Indian word, karma. Instead of Pete Sampras came Richie Renneberg, also ranked in the top 20 in the world. I lost the first set 3-6. I won the second set 6-3. And in the third set, Arnab, I was up 2-1 a break. And Richie Renneberg retired because his lungs were burning. Itne altitude pe, the oxygen is very little. And if you don't prepare your lungs or your muscles, they start burning. And he stopped. India won the first round. Then the second, then the third. In the quarterfinals, I played Renzo Ferdinand from Italy. He was a baseliner, he had no chance. But in the semi-finals, coming back to Dada's story, I was playing Leander Paes, India against Andre Agassi, USA. How to beat him? I asked my coach. He said he hits harder than you. I said, what else? He said he serves better than you. I said, what else? He has a better backhand than you. I said, I'm not asking you what he's going to beat me with. What am I going to beat him with? He said, don't run on the baseline because side to side is too good. But if you run him up and back, that means you're playing your serve and volley strength against his weakness. And sometimes winning is not about talent. It's about playing your strength against your opponent's weakness. And in the first set, Andre Agassi, USA was serving 5-6, 15-40. And he hit a first serve into my body. I played a backhand chip into his backhand corner and I came running to the net. I thought I was very clever. I had the down the line covered. I had the body covered. If he played short cross court, which is the low percentage, I would put my favorite flying man dive, play a drop shot winner. Or if he played a lob over my forehand or backhand side, my legs are strong, so I could get up and smash. I thought I had everything covered. But sometimes in life, you have to respect the brilliance of your opponent. Andre Agassi played the one shot that I wasn't prepared for. Does anyone have a guess? You kids? Where? Drop shot? No, Baba, I was at the net. He was in the baseline playing a two-handed backhand. That's a good guess, not at my legs, but he played it at my face. 240 miles an hour, straight at my right jaw. Now, if it was no racket in hand, I could do this. But the tennis racket is 27 inches. See how weak my wrist is. And when I played it like this, the ball hit the racket at 240 miles an hour. Racket hit my face, racket fell. But in a fraction of a second, I felt my wrist tendon tear.
It was already ruptured?
That was the rupture.
Oh, God.
And I heard the sound. It makes a... And I heard that sound, and the pain that came into my wrist and the swelling was so big that I could not even lift my fingers. Or doctor jo hote na, if you can't see, they put numbers in front of your eyes to say, tell me the number. Arey, main dekh to na pa raha. If you can't lift your fingers, they say, try and lift your little finger, try and lift your... Arey, I can't lift it. If I could, you wouldn't be on the court. So then, the doctor that was there was wearing an American tracksuit. और मैं तो तिरंगा में खेल रहा था. The doctor said to me, you have ruptured tendons in your wrist. If you continue playing, you're only 23 years old now, you'll jeopardize your entire career. So I suggest you stop playing, come back in 4 years. वो औकात के बाद फिर से आ गया यार. So I told him in the heat of the moment, you are wearing American tracksuit, I'm wearing Indian. You strap my wrist up and let me play. So he strapped my wrist up, I went on to play, but Andre Agassi was too good. He won that match 7-6, 6-3 if I remember correctly. And then straight after the match, we went to the hospital. MRI, 70% partial tear in my wrist. The tendon between the wrist and the elbow. So they put me in a hard cast, had the next day off. 2 days later, when I came back to play one of my best friends on tour, Fernando Melangeni, in the morning they cut the cast off. I went to warm up with Mahesh, and as I hit the first ball, the pain was so bad in my wrist, I started crying. Couldn't hit the ball. Because the vibrations of the ball against my racket, which was 328 grams, I didn't have the strength to wield the racket. So I stopped practice, I went into the locker room, trying to wrap my mind and my threshold of pain around the injury. Now the tough part was that the doctors came again and said that you should not play. He said, today I'm American, yes, but your opponent is Brazilian. I'm still telling you, you should not play. I said, thank you. I called my father. I said, Baba, what do you think? And this is the beauty of my dad, is not only is he an Olympic champion, not only a doctor of sports science, but he understands the human mind. He pulled up a chair, Arnab, and he sat between my legs, this close to me. And Baba said to me, it's not about whether I think you should play or shouldn't play. We both know you are mad enough to play. But the question is, how are you going to win? I was intrigued. Baba said to me, spend the first 20 minutes of the match to feel your opponent out. Maybe he's also nervous because he's also playing an Olympic match. Maybe he's feeling the pressure because he's trying to win for Brazil, who've never won a tennis medal before. Maybe he has a Delhi belly. Spend the first 20 minutes feeling your wrist out. In the first 20 minutes, I lost the first set. And in the second set, something magical happened. I got into a trance, what we players call the zone. And when I got into that zone, I couldn't hear the crowd. I couldn't see outside the lines. And I was so focused on this tennis ball, the way it was spinning, that all I wanted to do was to play fast tennis, so that the points were shorter, the points were quicker, to give Melanjani less time for oxygen, less time to think, and also to give my wrist less shots to play. I won the second set. And in the third set, when India was serving 5-4 for the medal, when I bounced the ball twice to serve, this mind, this human mind is your best friend, but also sometimes your greatest weakness. I came out of the trance and I felt the pain again. And I looked over at Baba, who was sitting in the corner, and he so quickly understood that I was feeling the pain because the tears were rolling down my eyes. I could not see the ball because of the tears in my eyes. Baba told me to wipe my tears and to focus on the game. I hit 5 first serves, 5 first volleys, and in that AV that your team so beautifully put, when I played the volley to Melanjani's backhand, he hit that lob that sailed over my head and went out. And I put my hands up as your first individual Olympic medal champion in tennis.
Yes. So how was it standing on the podium with Agassi?
Great, because that same captain said, I told you so. You know, I looked over to my right and Andre Agassi was on podium 1. I looked over to his right and Sergio Bruguera was on podium 2. But when I got back my viewpoint to the flags, that day, if I remember correctly, I was wearing a Tiranga shirt on the podium. I was wearing...
There you are.
Yeah, that one. And that Tiranga shirt matched the Tiranga flag at the Olympics. I was very, very proud to be a Paes and a son of India that day. Baba finally told me that night, now you can sit at the dining table with me because you won your medal.
But what is it about getting into the zone? I found that very interesting. See, a lot of people can have discipline. What you also told was a story of preparation, high altitude preparation for 4 years, choosing, getting the technical part right, getting everything right, ticking the dots. But what a lot of people will take away from this conversation is focus. Because in life there are too many things that distract you. But what you're good at, only you can do. And you can have all the training in the world, eventually it's your mind on the court, taking the decisions. I love that word, the zone, because I believe in it. I want you to tell me, regardless, when you say trance, I'm in a situation. I don't see anything else. You know, you see the eye of the fish and you shoot there. The story of Arjun. How do people get into the zone? What is the zone? It can be applied anywhere in life, right? So this interview is so important because the interview with a legend, how do you get into a zone? How do you focus when there are so many things happening around you? How do you keep yourself collected and focused?
The science of getting into the zone and building champions of life is about mastering the science of the body, the mind, and the soul. What does that mean? That means physical fitness is, the PACE system is 10,000 hours, 3 million perfect repetitions of anything, and you will master that art. What does that mean? If you spend 10,000 hours over 10 years, which is only 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, do the math. It's not so difficult. And you do 3 million perfect repetitions of anything, you will have what we call muscle memory and brain mapping. Under pressure at Wimbledon, when you're serving at 5-all, 30-40 in the 5th set, after playing 5 hours and 30 minutes, यार हाथ तरपता है, your सांस भी तरपते हैं. But if you've done your 10,000 hours, 3 million perfect repetitions, then you hit it like you're doing every day. So physical fitness and technical fitness is about repetition. The mental fitness is about practicing that under pressure all the time. जब सुबह 4:30 बजे उठते हैं और मन नहीं कहता है कि आज ट्रेन करें, कभी कभी बुघार होते हैं, कभी कभी पैर दुखते हैं, कभी कभी रोटेटर कफ दुखते हैं, मगर तभी भी जाके मेहनत करते हैं. The brain is a muscle. We have to train the brain. It can be your best friend if you train it, and it can be your worst enemy if you don't train it. But mastering the brain muscle along with the physical, and then using your breath for oxygen. The breath and oxygen, the way we know it, is to align the body, the mind, and the soul together at the right moment. In yoga, it's also known as Ujjayi breath. So we come from a country that is so rich in culture, in yoga, in Ayurveda, in meditation, in human science. And our family has tapped into that Indian culture along with the Western science of sports medicine and also now of artificial intelligence to use data, to use these wearables, where we use the Ujjayi breath, we use the mental training, we use the brain mapping to bring the body, mind and soul together, just like you turn a switch on and off. Jab nahi chahe, what do the youngsters say? Chill, na? Chill. But when you need it, just click a switch, do some breaths, deep breathing, slow breathing, fast breathing, whatever you need, whatever works for you. And get your body and mind and soul together to master your craft. So when you're under pressure, practice that. Because trust me, life will throw pressure to you all the time. घर का प्रेशर, पापा मम्मी का प्रेशर, बेटा बेटी का प्रेशर, स्ट्रेस कहाँ कहाँ से आते हैं आजकल. ट्रैफिक का स्ट्रेस, बोर्ड एग्जाम का स्ट्रेस, सोशल मीडिया का स्ट्रेस, हर जगह स्ट्रेस. But to practice under stress, you can master the art of being a champion for life.
There is a unique Indian Bharatiya style in which you have probably approached your sporting career as well while playing around the world.
And this is why I have tremendous respect for you also. Because the amount of stress that you faced, the amount of pressure that you faced, what your karma has thrown you to learn from and navigate those obstacles. You've done it real, you've done it honestly, you've done it in your character, which now, Arnab, is an institution. Republic is a reflection of Arnab.
In the India Today Best Universities Survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School, Bengaluru.
आपकी फेवरेट टुडे कार्स पर मिल रही है अमेजिंग डील्स. वैसे लोगे तो आप ढूंढ ही, चाहे दिल की सुनो या डील्स की। तो जल्दी चले आओ हुंडई शोरूम।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
विमल में गुलिस्तां के ये कुछ लजीज फरिश्ते जब साथ घुलें तो जी लग जाए और दिल कहे कि स्वाद की जुबान में खुद को ऐसे डुबाऊं कि निकल ना पाऊं। विमल की जुबान कुछ है ही ऐसी, मानते हैं? विमल, बोलो जुबान कैसी?
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, और घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
Mahi sir, how much do you love your fans?
Honestly, I love my new fans. पुराने वाले बेकार में शोर करते
सर फैंस हैं, शोर तो करेंगे ही ना।
नए वाले नहीं करते and they listen to what I say.
The new generation Orient BLDC fans, super silent performance with voice control.
Silly me, I thought
Cricket fans.
Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar. Guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IAHM.
He created the first major American car company in generations, and his rocket company is the only reason we can now send American astronauts into space. Come here. Take over, Elon. Yes, take over.
Everything they accuse Trump of, they are guilty of. And if Trump doesn't win, this will be the last real election in America.
Great to be with Elon. He's my friend, and he's done a fantastic job.
President Trump is the only one who can save democracy.
Today it's about a man named Elon, and he's one of the greatest business leaders and innovators the world has ever produced. He stepped forward to put his very great talents into the service of our nation, and we appreciate it. So Elon is a patriot, and again, I hardly knew Elon until the election. And he turned out that he liked me better than he liked these radical lunatics that were in it, better than Kamala, better than Joe, because he's an intelligent person. And he backed me, and he went, and he got very much involved. He thought, he actually would go around saying, if Trump doesn't win, our country is over. Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised because you were here. Everybody in this room practically was here as we had a wonderful send-off. He said wonderful things about me. You couldn't have nicer. Said the best things.
There is a unique Indian Bharatiya style in which you have probably approached your sporting career as well while playing around the world.
And this is why I have tremendous respect for you also. Because the amount of stress that you faced, the amount of pressure that you faced, what your karma has thrown you to learn from and navigate those obstacles. You've done it real, you've done it honestly, you've done it in your character, which now, Arnab, is an institution. Republic is a reflection of Arnab.
In the India Today Best Universities Survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School, Bengaluru.
मेरी नई हुंडई एक्स्टर। अरे तुमने भी तो कल नई कार ली है ना? उसमें भी तो होगा ना ये वॉइस इनेबल सनरूफ?
है अंकल, टिम्बर इनेबल सनरूफ।
पैडल शिफ्टर्स वो तो होंगे ही।
जस्ट पैडल्स।
डील्स और बेनिफिट्स ये तो मिले होंगे ना?
ये मिला।
हाँ? इन्होंने तो लॉलीपॉप ले लिया। क्या आप भी लेना चाहोगे? बिल्कुल नहीं। तो जल्दी चले आओ हुंडई शोरूम। आपकी फेवरेट हुंडई कार्स पर मिल रही है अमेजिंग डील्स। वैसे लोगे तो आप हुंडई ही, चाहे दिल की सुनो या डील्स की।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
विमल में गुलिस्तां के ये कुछ लजीज फरिश्ते जब साथ घुलें तो जी ललचाए, और दिल कहे कि स्वाद की जुबान में खुद को ऐसे डुबाऊं कि निकल ना पाऊं। विमल की जुबान कुछ है ही ऐसी, मानते हैं? विमल, बोलो जुबान कैसी?
Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar. Guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IIHM.
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रूंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रूंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
Mahi sir, how much do you love your fans?
Honestly, I love my new fans. पुराने वाले बेकार में शोर करते
सर फैंस है, शोर तो करेंगे ही ना।
नए वाले नहीं करते and they listen to what I say.
The new generation Orient BLDC fans. Super silent performance with voice control.
Silly me, I thought
Cricket fans.
स्वागत है भाई, स्वागत है।
That's why you lasted so long. You've lasted so long. That's the difference. So I find that there is a unique Indian Bharatiya style in which you have probably approached your sporting career as well while playing around the world.
And this is why I have tremendous respect for you also. Because the amount of stress that you faced, the amount of pressure that you faced, what your karma has thrown you to learn from and navigate those obstacles. You've done it real, you've done it honestly, you've done it in your character, which now, Arnab, is an institution. Republic is a reflection of Arnab.
Yeah, but I can't dive like you.
You don't have to.
I don't have your thighs.
You know, when we started, he started, making me blush. You can't tell because of my tan, but he's talking about my story. Coming from the man who tells the best stories in the world. And he tells them real. That's a big compliment, nah?
No. I find you like Muhammad Ali. You mentioned Muhammad Ali. He's also my favorite, all-time favorite, all-time favorite. Has anyone told you also talk like him? You have a passion like him, and he was also mad like you. I'm the only person who can call you mad, Leander. He's completely mad, in this mad streak. Because what I have seen, zone and all is good, Leander. But the thing is, you have to be a maverick. You have to do things when nobody believes in you. The story that I'm taking away, every story you are telling, Leander, nobody gave you a chance. Right? And 18 Grand Slam wins. I only followed tennis because of you. I'm not interested in sport. I liked you. You were the story. And when you won I think you won a Grand Slam. I was in NDTV, either 98, 99 or so. You must be 25, 26. 99?
I had won
Lisa
Wimbledon.
Raymond?
You had called me when I had won Wimbledon.
Yeah.
I'd won 2 titles in the same week. I won the men's doubles with Mahesh Bhupati.
Yeah.
That was India's first Wimbledon Grand Slam. And in the same week, I'd won the mixed doubles with Lisa Raymond.
Yeah. Lisa Raymond, 1999.
Arnab called me from Bombay.
Yeah.
And he says, Lida, I'm calling from Bombay. Can we do one interview together?
Yeah. I have a very functional relation. Leander, can you come live? Leander, I have to show to the others. ना थोड़ा दिखाना है ना. हम भी reporter हैं. हम direct Leander Paes को phone करते हैं. So we go to the sports person. You want help? What help? Don't worry, I'll tell Leander. A direct call Leander Paes. They look at you with respect. अरे क्या बात है?
और ये नहीं
He is always obliged. हाँ?
और ये नहीं कि कल करने हैं.
अभी 15 मिनट.
अभी.
15 मिनट में लाइव करो before some other channel gets. Amazing. I have a clip. You had a great partnership with Martina Hingis.
Hi everyone, it's Martina here. I wish you all a beautiful evening. I'm just sending some greetings from Switzerland, and also a little bit about Leander. He was a wonderful person, a true legend on and off the court. To me, also like family, because sometimes you just supported each other, not only on the court. Sometimes we had just simple dinners with his team and my team, and lots of talking, so we would understand also the game plan, not only, but also, like, for me it was really important always the person behind the player, and I think this is also really important, especially in doubles or mixed doubles, that you have that kind of chemistry when you don't always have the best day, and the other person steps up for you. And I think this is really what makes the team work, and that's why we were able to win so many matches, and special Wimbledon memory that we had, and shared some unbelievable moments on the court, winning trophies. So true legend to me, like I said, not only as a player, but also even bigger as a person. You all have a great evening, and to me, Leander greatly deserves it. So have a wonderful evening. Bye.
That's wonderful. Martina did this for you. She obviously loves you, admires you in every which way.
That's such a wonderful surprise. Martina's like a sister. One of the greatest athletes of all time. And when I started playing with her, I had already completed my men's doubles career Grand Slam. I had won all the 4, Australian, French, Wimbledon, US, but I had not won the French Open in mixed doubles. And when we started playing, we first won the Australian Open in February of 2015. Then we won Wimbledon 2015. Then we won the US Open 2015. All in a span of 12 months. And then when we came around to the French Open, we were playing Sania Mirza and Dodig. और ये जो कर्मा जो चीज़ होते हैं ना, कभी कभी बहुत गंदा चीज़ भी होते हैं. Sometimes you're on the right side of it, sometimes you're on the wrong side of it. But having such a great partner by your side, such a wonderful human being, a champion of life, also been through great trials in her personal life, but yet conducted herself with so much class, so much dignity, like a true champion. For all you youngsters out there, you don't become a champion on the court first. You are a champion off the court first. You are a champion of life first. इंसानियत कहते हैं. If you are a champion of life, then you become a champion on the court. And then to win the French Open with Martina, that too against another Indian, which was bittersweet. We created another world record of winning all 4 Grand Slams in 16 months. So India now has the world record of the most Davis Cup wins undefeated, which is 46 matches undefeated. That took me 13 years. I've been undefeated in Davis Cup doubles. World record in the Olympics, 7 Olympics participations. And then 4 mixed doubles Grand Slams, the wins in 16 months. तो शायद 40 साल बाद थोड़ा सा औकात भी दिखाए.
Absolutely. There's no accolade you have not got. You got the Arjuna Award 1990, Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award after your Olympic medal. Wait for that. I'm going to introduce, this is the most special one, Padma Shri 2001, Padma Bhushan 2016, that is India's 3rd highest civilian honor. Davis Cup undefeated. How many? 13 years undefeated. Davis Cup undefeated, right? 18 Grand Slams. Just imagine what a man can achieve in one career. 18 Grand Slams, junior number 1. mixed doubles number one, doubles number one. And the best thing about Leander Paes is, you know, something strange happened after 2010 to you. Has anyone told you? Everybody got older, you got younger. Sachin Tendulkar retired, you started playing more. Rahul Dravid retired, you started playing more. Anil Kumble retired, you started playing more. Everyone of your age group, our age group, sorry, our age group retired. He kept going on and on and on and on and on. I love you for that, because one day I went on a morning walk in Mayur Vihar. I was very disappointed with what I was doing with my career. I was with NDTV. I was walking with a veteran journalist. I said, "Mera to kuch nahi hoga, kuch nahi hoga." He said, "Beta, tu chinta mat kar." I said, "Kyun?" He was a Punjabi guy, Varun, Jogesh. He said, "Tu chinta mat kar." I said, "Kya? Mera kuch nahi hoga, sir. Sab anchor ban gaye, sab editor ban gaye mera." But tu beta chinta mat kar, tu lambi race ka ghoda ban. And it hit me. I said, "Lambi," I didn't understand. I was new today. Lambi race ka ghoda means what? He said, "Jo long last karta hai na, wo jeetta hai." You are the lambi race ka ghoda, Leander. Has anyone told you that? I think it's incredible. You shaped your life and you became so successful after the age of 40. In tennis, solo sport, who gives a chance? And I think it's because of your story. Now you tell your story. You've got something there. Okay, so Leander brought this for us. And when I was in the green room right now, he let me hold it. And this is something I want him to tell you about. Ladies and gentlemen, this is when he was inducted into the International Hall of Fame. He's the first person from Asia to be in the Tennis International Hall of Fame. Today he is next to people like Serena Williams, Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, Rod Laver. The list is endless. There's nothing that compares to this in a person's career. And he got this last year. You want me to play the clip, or you want me to tell people about this first? Will you hold this up for us? Will you tell us the story?
I'll do one better.
What will you do?
Some of my heroes in life have been my mother, father, Muhammad Ali, Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela. And as I grew up, and after that first flight that Arnab had taken internationally, then I started seeing a young man who made me very proud to be an Indian, who would be there for the people, a son of the soil. So today, I'm going to ask that son of the soil, whose name is also etched on this, because this medal belongs to every single Indian on the planet. I'm going to ask my champion, Arnab, to show you this.
Let me hold it up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the living legends, the first Asian in the International Hall of Fame, an honor which cannot be replicated in money, in anything. This makes me so proud and so emotional today. Look at the amount of sacrifice this young man has gone through to get this. We are so proud of you, Leander. The whole country is proud of you. Forget whatever you've gone through. Your life is your whole life, Leander. See, Leander, I didn't ask anyone to stand for you. Your whole life, your sacrifice, your struggle, your pain. Because I know your pain. He's been through so much personal hardship, but he is a real champion. Thank you. We love you. Love you, Leander. This is so special. You brought it to the Republic headquarters today. It's so wonderful for you to do this. Tell me about the moment when you got it. Vijay Amritraj was there when you were being given. Tell me how you look back on your life. because this is a most crazy story we are hearing today. See, I think the best part of legends today has been that we take a legend for granted. We know he's a headline, but today we've seen the other side of the person. I hope you're taking something away from this. Are you taking something away from this? Are you learning something to all the youngsters? For me, it's an education. Tell me about that moment. Tell me about that visual.
You know, that outfit is Indian.
Yep.
The boy, the man is Indian. But if you look on that outfit is also the Padma Shri and the Padma Bhushan medals.
Yeah.
From a young age, I always had the pressure of how can I emulate my parents. तो तब मैं सोचा कि यार मम्मी तो कैप्टन थी, डैडी तो ओलंपियन थे, मगर मैं तो देश वालों को दिखाना चाहते हैं कि चैंपियन कैसा करते हैं. I wanted to prove that Indians can be world beaters in any sport. So when I was young, I didn't even know what the Hall of Fame was. I didn't even know if there was such a thing. But in the last 10 years of my career, people started talking about it. औकात तो का कहानी तो हो चुके थे. But they started talking about how you can be a Hall of Famer. So I studied Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan has been also one of my heroes growing up. And he's in the Basketball Hall of Fame. So I took the Padma Shri Award. I took the Padma Bhushan Award, the medallions. And I took 1.4 billion Indians on my shoulders. And for the rest of mankind, India is going to be in the International Tennis Hall of Fame. So.
How does it feel, Leander, when you're in a list that includes Michael Jordan, Rafael Nadal, Leander Paes?
It's very humbling. Very, very humbling. Because it inspires me now to make sure I'm not sitting there lonely alone. My dream now, like I said at the Hall of Fame speech, is to inspire 250 million children through sport. Yes, 250 million children through the Olympic movement, through sports education, 60 years of Baba's sports science knowledge from World War II knowledge, geographical genetics, 10,000 hours, 3 million perfect repetitions. In 10 years, you can do brain mapping and muscle memory. And 40 years of my knowledge of Jugadu, my second favorite Indian word. Because in the 70s and 80s, we didn't know how to build champions. But now we do. And my endeavor now, Arnab, with your help and guidance, he's always been one of my closest confidants, someone who guides me unconditionally as a brother. I want to touch 250 million children through sports education to give them human skills to put food on the table, to teach them sport to put roof over their head, and to build Olympic champions. Even if 5% of this 250 million become world champions, I'm interested in the other 95% who maybe have an injury, maybe do not have the luck, maybe do not have the karma like we are so blessed with, but bring them back into the system to train them in sports science, sports management, event management, stadium management, sports journalism, to bring them into the system where the ecosystem of sport can move the GDP of a nation. And that acumen of business of sport is something I've learned from Michael Jordan and Mark McCormick, of how the Olympic movement can move a nation, how sport can have inclusivity of bringing a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Sikh, Punjabi, Tamilian, and a mixed race all together to play for one team, which is called Bharat.
So, you're doing this amazing thing with young people, right? Can you give me any story how you turn talent into global success? Is there anything you want to share with us today? Because we want a real life example. Are there future Leander Paes? Have you spotted a talent, made them win in India and globally?
Can I use some examples?
Yes, I want you to use examples.
Can you come up on the stage? What's your name, son? Arush? I'm Leander. Nice to meet you. Come. First of all, hold this. I know you could do it on your own. I didn't want you to fall. So I'm going to use a simple example to show you how we test talent. So today, Arush, how old are you?
9.
9 years old. I don't have an MRI machine here to test his femur bone between the knee and the hip. Because if I take an X-ray of his femur bone between his knee and his hip, I can tell you his potential maximum height he can grow by 1 inch. The differentiator is only 1 inch. But I can tell you today at 9 years old what his maximum height is going to be when he's an adult. If I take an X-ray of the muscle density of that femur bone, I can tell you the power that young Arush is going to have in his maximum potential by 1 kg. But today what I will show you is, if you give sir your mic.
Thank you, Vidya.
I would like you to put your elbows together, put your wrists together, and now put your fingers down towards the ground. Can you all see that? Do you see that his left side is a little lower than his right side? Does everyone see that? Why? Because in human biomechanics, Arnab, the left wrist tendon is 0.3 millimeters longer than the right wrist tendon. So young Arush, I think, is right-handed, right?
Yes.
How I can tell that? I can see the muscle density. Aankh thoda alag chalta hai. But if Arush was a left-hander, or any child that is a left-hander, you put them in racket sport. Why? Because a John McEnroe, a Rafa Nadal, in cricket, Brian Lara, Clive Lloyd, a left-handed athlete, because of this 0.3 millimeters extra on the wrist tendon, gives you more variety and range of movement. Correct? Now in that is a simple biomechanics of the human science. Now while I've been talking to you, I'm using my triple vision that as much as I'm not looking at Arush, I can tell he's standing to attention and looking at me. He's a great student of life. These are the kind of kids we want, who are hungry to succeed, who are respectful, who want to learn. Come. Yes. There's another young one right here. I'll show you another example of him. Thanks for coming up, Arush. What's your name?
Arjun.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
How old are you, Arjun?
14.
14. What sport do you play?
Tennis.
Tennis. Which school are you in?
Shivnagar.
Okay. Now can you ask every one of them if they heard you? Indian kids are submissive. Indian kids are great students. And because of his love and respect for me, he was speaking to me like this. Now, with this young, beautiful young boy who's just started growing a mustache, he's becoming a young man. Now, I'm going to throw your shoulders back. I'm going to spread your legs out so they're as wide as your shoulders. I'm going to pull the mic up. One hand. Lean on your right leg. Be a little cool. Lean your left leg a little forward. Now tell them your name, your date of birth, and which school do you study in.
My name's Arjun Kakkar. I was born on 11th May 2011. I studied in Shivnagar School, Noida, and I'm 14 years old.
Thank you for coming up on this stage, because it's quite scary being in front of a camera where the whole world is watching you. It's quite nervous as you bite your lip and your little mustache that you're growing while the whole world is watching you. But every time you see Arnab sir on television, don't just think about the stories he's telling, but think about how magical this young Indian man is, on how he goes in front of the world and tells his brand of story. There's great things to learn. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you. Thank you.
So through the science of human genetics, picking up on two simple things, doing a little further testing of bone density, muscle density. Also, looking, in Ayurveda we have you can test your pulse and you can check your saas, your breath. You take Indian and Asian sciences, ancient sciences, and put that together with artificial intelligence and Western sports science, and you can build a beautiful, great generation. And those are two simple examples.
Well, that's absolutely wonderful. As I reached the conclusion of this, you had a tour called One Last Roar. Was that? When was that?
That was in 2019. I was so tired of the loneliness of tennis and I wanted to stop. But my team convinced me that it was my responsibility to play one season for all the fans in the world. And I went to every single tournament around the world, playing one last time for my fans. And in that, I have brought something special for you. It's the greatest honor to be your first guest.
Thank you.
It's something I'm very passionate about, which is you. So today, we had designed a concert shirt for this One Last Roar. We gave out millions of these shirts to all the fans around the world. But today, as Arnab's first guest on Legends, I would like to present Arnab with this One Last Roar shirt. I would like to present Republic with this first One Last Roar shirt. It has chronologically my Atlanta Olympic medal and all the other 18 Grand Slams that I've won, along with the Flying Men, which is now my company's logo. And if you flip it around,
It's beautiful. Thank you.
This is to my champion, Arnab.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a message for you from someone who loves you as well. Let's play that out. Let's play out the special, someone who loves him incredibly.
Leander. Actually, Leander almost grew up in our home. We were blessed to have someone like him, really. Darling boy. So charming. His smile was always charming and so endearing, And when he cried, you felt like crying. When he smiled, you smiled back automatically. He spoke so sweetly. Every time that I would ask him, which was almost every day of the week, that's an exaggeration, but almost once a week, when he would come to the house in the morning before going to school, I'd ask him, Leander, why are you so sad? Why are your eyes sad? Why are you crying? He said, Auntie Usha, I've bitten my another tie. You bitten another tie? What do you mean by that? It was always the same story. He used to bite his ties, and I used to love giving it to him, So we always had a stock of good school ties for him. He was a lovely sportsman even then. And look where he is today. He is absolutely on top of the world. And I feel so proud to say that this is our Leander. Really a darling boy. Such a lovely boy, so caring, so sharing, so loving and so giving, and such a perfect sportsman. Leander is really just like his dad, but just a little less, than West Paes. We'd like to say tonight, I'd like to say to everybody that I am so proud to be able to say that Leander was more in my home, in our home, than anybody else's. So from Uncle Johnny, Sunny, Anjali, John, Aisha and Riyadh and myself, we want to tell you how much we love you. God bless you, darling. See the man behind us? He's blessing you too. It was always lovely when Leander would accompany my children to our shows in Kala Mandir and everywhere else in Calcutta. It was also wonderful when I would be able to see him play at South Club or play in CCFC sometimes. But that never bothered me really. The thing that really moved me most about Leander was how polished he's finally become. Not that he wasn't polished then, but then I've always felt that I'm biased about Leander, yeah. We just hope that you carry on this way and keep good health and really enjoy your life from this moment on. God bless you. Leander Paes, the champion of all champions.
I'm going to throw the mic around now because I'm sure many questions are here to be asked, if you allow.
100%. I just want to share a story about Amma. Auntie Usha Uttup and her family lived on the second floor of Queen's Mansion, a building on Park Street, a very prominent building in Calcutta. And my parents brought us up on the third floor of Queen's Mansion. Amma, Auntie Usha as I call her, she's like my mother. And when I was 6-7 years old, I used to go to Kala Mandir with her children. Sunny Uttup, her son is my best friend. Anjali Uttup, grew up together. And Auntie Usha, Amma, was the first rock star celebrity that I knew. Because I would sit backstage, like on the stage there where those steps are.
Yeah.
As a 6-7-year-old, I used to sit there and I used to peep out at the crowd in Kala Mandir. And now this lady with a Kanchivaram sari and a big bindi and a sindoor and this beautiful hair and this deep, raspy voice would entertain the audience. I learnt the art of connecting with people one-on-one from Amma. So no matter which stadium I played, or no matter which Davis Cup I played away from home, we'd win the crowd over. So the French in the south of France in 1993, when India created the greatest upset in Davis Cup history by beating France in France, the crowd gave Ramesh Krishnan and Uncle Naresh Kumar and myself and the entire Indian contingent a standing ovation when we walked away. To move people and inspire people is a great responsibility. And in that I am very driven to learn from great people like this and yourself to inspire 250 million children to play sport in our country.
And you will do that. You will do that, incredibly. We'll take a few questions now. Would anyone in the audience like to talk to Leander? Shall I throw the mic around? We have time for that, right? We have the time? Okay, great. Great. So, okay. Please, Sharad. Yeah.
What are the things that we do not find important but advanced tennis players find important?
Do one thing, son. Can you stand up and give me your name?
Rayan.
Awesome. The way we conduct ourselves, the way we treat people, the memory that we leave people about ourselves is more important than what we say. Sometimes in life it's about how you do something that is more important than what you do. I feel that sport or tennis is a great vehicle to build great friendships, to get scholarships in schools, to, God willing, be professional and earn a living, become a champion. But the most important thing that sport teaches you is leadership, teamwork, how to lose with grace, how to win with grace. Sport is the greatest classroom of all in the world. I think sport is a great way to empower our children.
And I had one more question that what were the motivations you gave yourself when you were losing a match?
You. I thought of you. You might have been too young, but I would think of India. I would think of every Indian, that if I gave up, if I decided to accept defeat, and even if I lost, if I did not learn from it, then what example am I being to anybody? So even if I lost a match, in my mind, I just ran out of time. Because a loss is a greater teacher than a win. क्योंकि जब जीतते हैं ना, we think we're the kings and queens of the world. औकात आ गए. But if you lose, you don't actually lose. You just learn. In my statistics, Arnab, I have lost 74.3% of every tennis match I've played. If I went to a bank for a loan, they wouldn't give me one on that stat. But yet, you win Grand Slams, you win Olympic medals, and also, even after you lose 74.3% of your matches, you're still a Hall of Famer.
It's amazing what he just said. You don't ever lose, you just learn. Thank you for your question. Thank you. Shall we have another question?
Hi, good evening, sir. My name is Bhavya. I'm a tennis player as myself. So I want to ask you that, being an athlete on tour, playing all these tournaments, how do you deal with the self-doubt that may occur during pressure matches and big moments?
That's a great question. It comes to what I was saying before. It takes 10 years, 10,000 hours, 3 million perfect repetitions to create muscle memory and brain mapping. Even if you lose, you're still on that journey to get to that 10,000 hours, 3 million repetitions. So on a Monday, if you win, but on a Tuesday, if you lose, on Wednesday, you still have to come back to the same routine. So create a nice routine in your life. Sleep timings, diet, fluids, especially now with the summer. It's so hot in India. Make sure that you'll all get at least 4 liters of not just water, but also 4 liters of electrolytes. So let's break down the 4 liters. 1 liter water, 1 liter electrolytes, 1 liter juice, 1 liter maybe a lassi or a chas. So that way, where the body's larger makeup is made out of fluid, you get the right types of fluid every day. The right type of sleep every day. In that, be a student of life. Be a student of your craft. Because in the journey, even when you win, the euphoria only lasts 24 hours. Because if you win on a Sunday as a professional player, Monday morning you start first round of the next tournament. So the euphoria of winning lasts only 24 hours. And for someone like me who doesn't drink or party or things, it lasts barely 8 hours. Because you're going back on Monday in the first round again. So champions and legends live a life that is supportive to creating great things. So find your rhythm. Your shirt says Nike 24/7, right? Being a legend is 24/7, 365 into 40 years.
Thank you. Wonderful question and a great reply from Leander. Fantastic. Yes, please.
Good evening, sir. I'm Vanshika Mavi. How would you like to be remembered, not just as a tennis player, but as a person?
Wow, that's a tough question. How do you remember me? After today, when you go home, tomorrow or day after, when you think of me, what will you remember?
As my idol, a great tennis player.
Thank you very much. That's the greatest honor. That's exactly how I would like to be remembered. Someone who inspired you to be your own champion.
Thank you. Thank you. Please.
When you lose a match and you're very angry, what do you do?
Arey, Arush, when you came up here, I told you to stand with your legs strong and shoulders back, Ray. You forgot. That's what I do. When I lose a match, my legs are strong. I stand with my shoulders back. I look the person in the eye with a smile on my face, even though I'm sad. Why? Because I have India written on my back. I'm representing India.
Beautiful. This is so inspiring, Leander. Wow. I think we have a question in the corner there.
Do any of the parents have a question? Because only the kids are asking. The parents are being shy.
There are a few others. Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I am waiting for this. Actually, as a parent, we have much pressure. And that definitely goes to the children only. So how to handle that?
Now that's a question I was waiting for. You know, as a parent, I think that we are bound by society pressure. फिर से वो औकात बात. लोग क्या समझेंगे? लोग क्या सोचेंगे? What did my child get in my 10th standard exams? Which school is my child studying in? But if you look at our sports champions around the country, if you look at our champions around the country, not always were we legends or champions. लोग पूछते थे औकात क्या है, और तब जीतने के बाद बोलते थे कि हाँ, I told you so. But as a parent, unconditional love.
Yeah.
Search for the talent in your child, and wherever the talent is, you become a student of that.
Yes.
So that way you can guide your child.
Yes.
But the one most important thing from a parent, and trust me, I know this because I've never been married. I was in a cancer hospital in 2003. When I came out of the cancer hospital with a wrong diagnosis, दिमाग में कीड़ा था. I had neurocystic sarcosis. They thought it was cancer. But in that, the doctors told me I'd never grow my hair back. It's nice. Color bhi nahi karte ab tak. They told me I'll never play sport again. I've played more Olympics after the cancer hospital, and I've won more Grand Slams after the cancer hospital. They also told me I won't have children. So I did surrogacy and I had a child.
Yes.
And now my daughter Ayana is 19 years old.
Great.
And she lives in Barcelona and she plays tennis.
Tennis.
So in that, the relationship between father-daughter is more important rather than her being a champion also.
Yes.
I have to understand the pressure on her. Her grandparents were champions. Her father is something. So I have to take that pressure away from her. So the number one thing is unconditional love. The other thing that's worked for me, and I hope Ayana is not listening to this, but is reverse psychology.
Okay.
बच्चे को कह लेंगे कि आइसक्रीम मत खाओ, 100% आइसक्रीम खाएंगे. बच्चे को कहेंगे कि if you win, I will buy you an ice cream. Try that and see what happens.
Yes.
Give an incentivized challenge to your child. If they lose, give them a hug, not the ice cream. If they win, take them to the ice cream parlor and ask them which ice cream do you want, I'll give you a double scoop. And now see what happens.
Yes. Thank you so much.
So simply put and so meaningful. We have another 5-6 minutes for questions, if any. Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Vedant Jain, and my question was, why do people laugh when you say that you want to be a sports person?
Hi Vedant, it's such a pleasure to meet you. Today you were sitting quietly in that corner, and your mother, who's sitting on your left, right, she was smiling away, and I saw you almost sinking into your seat. So I was hoping that you'd ask a question. You know, sometimes the modern world for you kids are very cruel. Sometimes peer pressure could be very cruel. Sometimes social media can be very cruel. When I was a young kid, Vedant, one of my nicknames was Matar, peas, Leander Paes. It's not a very Indian name. The last name is Portuguese, which is also Indian. The first name is Greek, Leander. But when I was a young kid, they used to call me Leander Paes. I used to feel really sad, I don't have an Indian name. So then I realized, okay, maybe they laugh at my name. But one day, I'll put that name on my shirt, where all of them will look up at me when I win for India. What I'm trying to get at, Vedant, is that you have two choices today. Either to cry when they laugh at you, or the other option is to cry, dry your tears, and prove to them aapka auqat kya hai. To me, where I'm sitting, you are a strapping, well-mannered, attentive, handsome, well-dressed, beautiful young Indian boy. To me, you are my champion. So if ever anyone laughs at you, you take a recording of this and say, Leander Paes said, I am his champion.
Thank you, Leander. You're so inspiring. You understand people so well. You understand young people so well. And that's because he's been through a lot himself. So he puts himself in your shoes when he's asking the question. I am running out, but I can't not let some questions happen, you know. The questions are coming. I'll come to you, sir. That young man in the yellow t-shirt.
Good evening, sir. My name is Shriya Vashisht and I'm from Mavi Tennis Academy. My question was, with me being a vegetarian, how can we obtain a nutritious diet required for a tennis player?
Good evening. Lovely question. I was vegetarian for 12 years, and my coaches at that point taught me about superfoods. When it comes to superfoods, as a vegetarian, you need protein. So, instead of whey protein, which is made with eggs or chicken or beef or mutton or fish, there's also a pea protein, matar protein. That pea protein is vegetarian, it's vegan. But 2 scoops of pea protein in a little bit, half glass of water, will give you exact amount of protein that you need on your daily diet. The timing of that is important. So I can see that your body fat fold percentage is very lean. The ratio between your muscles and your fat is very lean. So in that, as soon as you finish a workout or as soon as you finish your tennis, within half an hour, for you I'll say within 20 minutes, you should have a half glass of water with 2 scoops of pea protein. Suddenly you'll see yourself filling out. Further than that, chana, dal, paneer, tofu, these things give you good protein.
Thank you. Okay. Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go? Okay.
I love the fact that all the kids have their hand up. One parent has his hand up.
Sir.
Good evening, sir. My question is, as a parent, I have kids who are doing good at India level, but hard reality is that there are hardly any sponsors. So tell us a way out so that I can, these are the kids. This girl is Junior Billie Jean Cup representative this year. They both are Haryana medalists at national games.
Wow.
So means how to go forward to international level to compete at the top level without a sponsor and without any financial aid. You know, it is required, it is paramount to be there.
Firstly, everyone, can we please give them a clap, please?
Yeah.
You know, Arnab, I'm so proud for our Indian girls and our Indian women.
Yeah.
All 4 of them sitting there, Billie Jean Cup representative, Haryana champion. Our Indian girls is where I feel we excel more in sport.
Yeah.
I'm so proud to come from a sport like tennis that has equal opportunity and equal prize money for girls as there are for boys. So to answer your question, sir, in my second innings now, I've just opened up my first Olympic Academy in Orissa. It's at the Kalinga Institute in Bhubaneswar. The thought process behind that is about how to bring an ecosystem where sports is a business. जिस तरह से IPL में होते हैं, जिस तरह से cricket में होते हैं, we must learn from them. We must learn from how the BCCI has invested into cricket from 20 years ago. 30 साल पहला नहीं होता था. 20 साल से हो रहे. Which means in all the other sports we can also do it. And 20 years from now we should show them how it's done. So for these young ones, we must build their individual brand. Use their social media as a platform to showcase their brand. Use their tennis expertise to be playing at Billie Jean King Cup, Haryana champion, to be able to market that. And in my Olympic Academy, we've got 80,000 children now. I'm hoping that with the help of Arnab and all the big achievers in India, we can open up 4 more Olympic academies around the country. North, South, East, West, Central. To be able to give these young children financial support, equipment support, technical support, mental toughness, physical fitness, sports science, sports rehab support. So now as I go forward, I'm going to be keeping my eye on the Billie Jean King Cup. I'm going to keep my eye on all you youngsters out there.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll take 2 quick questions.
Hi, Leander. The question is, you competing at the highest levels, and it's a lonely journey. So, what about maintaining friendships at that level? How do you do that, compete and yet be friends? Because you've got to respect the sports person in the other guy also. So any thoughts on that?
Great question. Thank God for smart gadgets and WhatsApp. We were talking about this at lunch, and Arnab asked me a great question that in my school at La Martiniere in Calcutta, I had 30 other classmates. I met them when I was 2.5 years old in kindergarten. Then 3.5 kg, then class 1, class 2, class 3 onwards. I still am in touch with all 30 of them. They are some of my best friends. One of them's mother happens to be Usha Uthup. So in that, human connectivity, or what we call in business human equity, is what champions are made of. Today, every one of those 30 boys are very well achieved. They're all over the world. So when I go for Wimbledon in July, I meet 5 of them there. When I used to go to Australian Open in Melbourne, I used to meet 2-3 of them there. Couple of them are in Delhi, some are in Bombay, some are still in Calcutta. So I think one of the lessons that my dad taught me was that as you're climbing up the mountain of life, how you treat people should be very good. Because when you reach the summit and you come down the mountain of life, those people remember how you treated them. Did you youngsters understand that? How you treat people while you're climbing the mountain of life is very important. Kindness, tamiz, respect, openness to listen to them, understand them, don't judge them, don't laugh at them, because one day you will be clapping for them, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Because when you come down the mountain of life, the same people remember you. Stay in touch with people. The world is made up of human equity. Today I sit here in front of you on this podium because I love this man. His family, his son Che, his wonderful wife, and him. He's always been there for me. Not always been there for me when I need a news interview. Tang karte the, abhi aa jao. But he's always been there for me as a brother, as a human being. So when his team called and said, we need you to come to Delhi, no questions asked. This morning, I was up at 3:45. I did not want to check in bags, so I shaved for you guys at 4:15. Had a shower, raced to the airport, got a 6 o'clock flight. Here I am, and as soon as I finish, the reason he's watching his watch is I got a flight at 9 o'clock to go back to Calcutta to look after a mother who's in stage 4 cancer, to look after a father who's in the 20th year of Parkinson's. I don't tell you that for sympathy. I tell you that to see the champions remain champions no matter the ups and downs of life. Human equity.
Beautiful. We can't let you miss the flight, Leander. But all I want to say at the end of this is, I don't have words to describe my thank you to you. I thought that we would get to know you, be inspired by you. But through all these stories, through your life experience, I see a fighter in you of an incredible level, Leander. Incredible level. And what I like about you is your transparency. You are an authentic guy. Like what you see is what you get. There is no put on. And that's why we feel for you. This audience came to see Leander Paes. They're going to leave thinking of a great human being. One of the greatest human beings who became the greatest champion of the world. This combination, Leander, many people become legends in their profession. You're a legend as a person. And you have a long way to go. And I will do everything I can, that your next dream of creating thousands and hundreds of thousands of Leander Paes in every sport comes alive. I know nothing about what you do, but we will all do that. And I request all of you after this event to take clips of this conversation, because his dream must be known by people, must be shared by people. And it's already being shared in this room. There is a viral presence in this room. And you spoke about your mother being clairvoyant, and you said there was no strategy I had in that Atlanta match, right? And that's because you came from only one place. You came from your heart. You never played with your head. You started this conversation saying, I didn't have the best technical technique. Who needs a technical technique when you have your heart in the right place? And we love you because your heart is in the right place. There's nobody like you, Leander. This country will be indebted for you for years. And Rakshita said that legends make history. Leander, when a history of India is going to be written, your name is going to be there 100, 200 years from now for what you've done for this country, beyond your sport. Thank you. Thank you, Leander. Thank you.
Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the legend. And I would request my colleague Anamika to please come on stage and honor a little gesture from our side, a memento for taking out your precious time and enlightening all the young upcoming talent and everybody present here in the hall with your inspiring story, the stuff of legends that they say. I request all the kids to please come onto the stage, and this is your chance to click this, to get this picture of your life with the legend.